Okay, after doing quite a bit of learning, we're now able to start a project. So the whole point of these projects is to continue the learning of what I've been doing, but there's only so many lessons you can do. I need a real-world project that I'm actually going to release to the world. It's going to be from start to finish, that needs to be completed. I may improve on it in the future. I haven't developed an application before, even a website really, just essentially using the kind of what you see is what you get editors to do web development. So this is my attempt at learning and understanding code by doing the projects, being backed up by all the lessons I'm doing, and the project is kind of like the fun bit, where I get to really kind of see how I'm learning, hopefully learn more as well. This first project isn't going to be like building on smart contracts or in Solidity. It is going to be Ethereum related, but I feel I need to do a bit of understanding a bit more on kind of basic coding in order to even start building smart contracts and actually other like proper blockchain projects. This one is aptly named Eth-ter-I-Die. And the whole aim of this project is to create a website that produces a very simple printable text file that explains how to remove Ethereum-based coins and tokens from my accounts after I die. So the whole point is to keep it as simple as possible to understand, so my mum can actually understand how to get the money out. It's not about teaching her why Ethereum is so good and all this. It's all it is how she can extract the money that I've put into Ethereum, how she can extract that value into real money, because let's face it, she's not going to be playing around in this space. But I still obviously want her to benefit from what I've done and learnt. Kind of morbid, but I feel it's an important thing that we need to kind of address in kind of blockchain communities. So the whole point of this project is to have a specific start and finish. But if people are interested or want to add more applications and coins and things like that to how you remove those coins from the blockchain, I can always keep adding and keep developing past my official end date, and maybe I want to do some updates and things like that to further improve my knowledge and understanding using this as a basis. But yeah, project 1, Eth-ter-I-Die, hoping to learn HTML, JavaScript, GitHub. These are all things I have a small understanding in how they work, but I've never actually used them in a project. So HTML, JavaScript, GitHub, and then I really want to make it into a BootStrap and React project, and then ideally host it on the blockchain. But that's in the future. Extra credit stuff, that is. So what's it going to look like to the end user? So the user process, essentially what they'll be able to see. First, they're going to select which services and applications that they're currently using on the Ethereum network. So, for example, Coinbase as a wallet or MetaMask as a wallet. You'd select those, and then when you press the submit button or the download button, in this case, all you'll do is receive a .txt file, and with the instructions of how to retrieve the tokens or coins from the services you've mentioned. This does include passphrases and things like that you would manually you'd write out in handwritten notes on top of the text file you would print. And then the whole idea is that the user would then store this in a very, very safe location, maybe with a lawyer, or in a safe box, or wherever you store your very, very secure stuff, because this essentially is the how-to guide and how to remove all your Ethereum assets out of the blockchain. The onus is specifically on, I probably need to do a warning of some sort to make sure that is understood. That's a good point. I probably need to implement that as well. I'll write a note about that. That essentially, as soon as you've got this download file, once you fill it in with all your passphrases, you've got to store it in a very, very safe location. I want to keep the Use the process as simple as possible. I'm not changing the world. All I'm doing is doing a very basic selecting checkboxes, downloading a file, and then now you've got your kind of blueprint of how to retrieve your assets that you can pass on when you pass on. Okay, so let's break this down into smaller and smaller tasks, because if I were to throw myself at this, I would be just overwhelmed, to be honest. At the very basics, I don't actually have an IDE. So on this computer, I wiped everything off it, and all it is running Ubuntu 20.04, I believe, and all I've got is my screen recording software and editing suites, and maybe a few GUI kind of manipulators that make it kind of as Windows similar as possible, because I'm quite very new to a Linux setup. I need to get an IDE. I need to have the project set up and have a bit of understanding of like how things work there. I'm only used to the crypto zombies kind of. You can't really call that an IDE, but that kind of setup. Like beyond what I've done in crypto zombies, I've not really done anything else in regards to code and development. So task 0 is IDE setup. That's going to be a thrilling episode, but hopefully short, sweet, and we're going to get to task 1 and actually creating a hello world from there. The second task would be basic HTML checkboxes, how they work, how we can split them up, how we can identify them. Task 3 is essentially a way to retrieve data. So I've got this idea, so we've got all the kind of application guides, the DApp guides of how to retrieve your tokens and coins, stored in different guides in a folder within the folder structure. I need this JavaScript to retrieve that particular file. Say for example Coinbase. I need to retrieve the Coinbase file from when the Coinbase checkbox is ticked. Seems very simple. I don't know how to do it. This is why it's here, so I can learn how to do it. The next one is doing a JavaScript download.txt file. So be able to store the contents of the files that we retrieved from the checkboxes. And then I want to build up a new document, essentially a new document pasted into a new text file, and then I want to be able to download that. And then from there, it's really just creating the content. So those are my 5 main tasks in order to get it up and running. I do have some extra credit tasks as well. Creating a how-to video, this is kind of optional. Convert it to BootStrap and React. So it will initially just be a very, very bare bones application. But I wanted it to look semi-good, so that's something that's been created in the last maybe 10 years at least. So BootStrap/React seem to be a good framework essentially to build a nice looking application. And then I do want to have IFDS hosted, so that's essentially hosted on the blockchain, so decentralized. And that's going to be an interesting learning curve. Very keen to get that done. Okay, so let's start with these tasks. IDE setup. And okay, let's just begin with this, the IDE setup. So talking to some of my friends who are developers, it looks like Atom is our best shout. So let's go over to the Ubuntu Software Center and let's download that. Here we are in the Software Center. Atom. I mean, I may change the IDE depending on what you guys think, what you recommend, and I'm literally going in this with 0 understanding of really what IDE actually stands for. So this is gonna be a long journey, especially with my current internet speed that says that it's going to take a while for anything to appear. Okay, this doesn't seem to be working. Let's go and find out how to install it other ways. Looks like I'm going to need my terminal out for this. Okay, to install Atom, this is running the commands. Okay, so that seems to all be done. So we should have Atom. Okay, so here I have my project. Eth-ter-I-Die. See, I love that. Well, not everybody, but I do like a good pun. And we're going to remove this one, remove this one, remove this one. So I need to start a new file. Enter a path for a new file. So I want to be in here. New file. So I know websites always have index.html. There we have it. My first thing. From what I understand, you need to have an index.html folder to be kind of read for the like your homepage, your main page. So what if I just do hello world ? This will not work, and so how would I see this? So what I think I need to go to the, first I need to save it. Okay, saved, hello world. This isn't going to be right. Okay, so I'm in my projects folder, Eth-ter-I-Die, here's index.html, open with Firefox. So I'm not sure if that counts, because that is hello world, that's task 2 done. This seems like a very good place to start. So what I might do is just copy this, and then there'll be a lot of copying in this whole series, don't you worry. And then while I'm in Atom, paste that, so it's document type HTML body, so rather than having my first JavaScript, it should be Eth-ter-I-Die. So let's have a look let's remove that now. When we reload this, there we have it. We've got something working, so then we can test. Let's go on to the next task. Okay, we've done our ID setup. We've done the hello world, that was simple. I don't know why I thought it would take a whole episode to do that. Let's crack on with HTML checkboxes and see what they do and a bit of a structure around it. So it looks like this is our code that we want. So checkboxes, the input, yeah, we need all this. Okay, let's give it a save and see what happens. Done. Okay, so a big part of this is I need these to kind of react. So when I click on them and then press click me, well, at the moment it's just saying a warning. I'll probably delete that warning after painfully typing it all out and with typos. when you say click me, I just want to say like you've selected MetaMask, Uniswap, Coinbase, and then I can start to build up a bit more. I did find this really good site, essentially handling checkboxes, and similar thing there. It says document.getElementByID, and then if this is collect, do something else. So this could be very useful, like this example here. So what they're doing, essentially every single time you click, something here is affecting something here. That is kind of what I want to do. I want to kind of have the variables of the different app names to be printed when you click them. That's just simply what I want. So using getElementID seems to be our best way to do it. Bit of script that essentially checks the document by element ID. I've defined the element ID by W1, which will be here MetaMask. So I actually need to swap this with E1, and this should be E1 here, and then E1. Sorry, I'm just going to explain what it does, and then we'll try it out. So var SW1 equals document get element ID. The element ID is W1 that we've defined before. Checked, then so this is essentially checking whether it's checked. So has this been checked? And then you've kind of got your answer yes this side of the colon, and then no is this side. So what I need to do is, if it's yes, then we type in MetaMask info here, and then same for Uniswap as well. So I've not tried this yet, haven't even saved it yet. Here goes nothing. So nothing has happened. File sum. Whoop. Click me button. Please work. And then control save, and then go from there. It doesn't work. Ah, dear me. Intro, because you're going to want instructions, so intro equals intro text here. You see, I think this should be a function. Hear me out here, because then when I can call, if I call a function, then it's going to give me all the required elements. Yeah, I might try that. Bear with me a second while I try and work out how we do this. Maybe this will work if I have the semicolons in place. So this is using functions. This is, I kind of understand this now. Let's have a look at the, oh, let's reload it. Yep, please work. Intro text. Intro text here. That's what I wanted. Okay, so I need intro text plus MetaMask now. It's all about functions. It's all about functions. Okay, right, from now I can start to build up. Anyway, this has been quite frustrating, and I'm sure you're quite frustrated your side. Please, there's going to be way better ways of doing this than I've found, than I've just come up with out of nowhere. So please let me know if you've got any comments about this, how I can improve it. What I'll do, I'll leave a link to the GitHub on the in the comments. So I mean, probably by the time you look at it, it may be a bit more developed, but the code is going to be similar to what I've just written now, because this is the base, this is the backbone of my code now. And thank you for watching, and hopefully see you next time. Next time we'll be downloading text files. That's the aim.